So if you're like me, you probably fancy yourself a good hot hatch. If you're also like me, you live in the United States, where we are so deprived of hot hatches that it could almost be deemed a human rights violation. Americans deserve something that's fun, fast, and practical and doesn't weigh 5,500 pounds. So with that being said, whenever I see something in the news about a new hot hatch, I get excited. My faith in hot hatchery is restored, but if only for a brief moment. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So if you're new here, my name is Zach, and this is a car news show that I have not come up with a name for yet. We'll take care of that eventually, but just see if I can keep up with making videos to begin with. So about 2 weeks ago, there were some articles going around saying that Toyota and Subaru were co-developing a new car to flank the 86 and the BRZ. And this time around, it's rumored to be an all-wheel drive hot hatch, so already I'm sold. I'm always open to more hot hatches existing in the world. However, it seems that there's always one soul-crushing statement in every article about a new hot hatch
not coming to North America.
And actually, now that I mention it, Toyota has been the king of not coming to North America with their GR Yaris. Yes, I'm still angry about it. No, I will not shut up about it. Mom, I don't care that I made a scene at our CDC-compliant Christmas dinner. Although I'm sure Toyota has a good financial reason not to sell this car in the United States, and the platform that it's on isn't even the Yaris platform we get here, it's the Mazda 2 platform we get here. Although I'm a car enthusiast, so I don't care. Look at this freaking thing. It's a rally car. I want a rally car. I also really don't appreciate Toyota teasing us on their US Twitter, making a post saying, does North America need a new hot hatch? Like, yes we do. And if I remember correctly, they actually released a statement saying like, hey, we hear ya, we know you want this thing, but you're still not getting it. So honestly, I think Toyota owes us and our blue balls an apology. So we better get this thing in the colonies. Although we are still totally in the rumor phase, I very much do see in this car come to the United States because, well, the 86 and the BRZ, that being all of Toyota and Subaru's co-developed cars, are being sold in the United States, so it would make sense. Now, with every rumored car on the internet, there's always a lot of speculation, chatter around, comment sections on what this thing might turn out to be like. And honestly, that's one of my favorite things to do, is just, talk to my friends about, what a future car will be like come the final production model. So I've come up with a couple theories on how this thing might end up being based on, some of the pages I'm reading, comments I've seen floating around, and just my personal opinion. So this rumor is said to come out of Japan from the website Best Car Watch, where it briefly went over it in the beginning of their article. So far what's known about this alleged hot hatch is that it's going to have a horizontally opposed engine, most likely something of the FA category, and a freshly developed all-wheel drive system. Apparently it was rumored to be a derivative of the Yaris' all-wheel drive system, but now they're saying that's going to be a completely new one. It's also said that this car could be the new platform for the WRX, and this is exciting. It also could be Subaru's re-entry into the WRC. So this is starting to sound like a homologation rally car. As I said before, I want a rally car. Cars Guide states that it's probably going to be an FA24, which I agree with, and that's basically the engine that everyone's been thinking that the new WRX and STI is going to have. It'll probably be a tuned version of the already turbocharged unit, maybe with some upgraded internals. So I'm thinking we're probably going to see something within the 300 to 350 horsepower range. It's probably going to be a competitor to the Civic Type R and the Golf R, sort of like the old STI was. It also means that Toyota themselves will be getting a car to take on those rivals, because as of right now, they don't have anything even remotely close. I guess some people would cross-shop a Supra with a Golf R or a Civic Type R, but that's front engine rear wheel drive. I kind of don't really put the two in the same category, even though the performance is sort of similar, I guess. So one way this could end up going is that Toyota could just come up with a totally new model name, a completely new car for this supposedly newly developed platform. Now, there's no name speculation, but I imagine if Toyota would do that, they may end up putting some sort of numbered name on it, I don't know, F4S or something like that, front engine, four-wheel drive sports, I don't know. I would hope they put some more thought into it, because what I just thought it was pretty terrible. I hope it's not called that. I mean, Toyota 86 sounds cool, but I mean, that's got some historical value, and maybe some things should just be called numbers and some things shouldn't. Unless they call it something like the Toyota GT4, a little homage to the Celica. Although Porsche might have something to say about that, because when you say GT4 nowadays, you usually think of the Cayman. Another theory that people have been tossing around is that they may resurrect a name from their old lineup. I've seen a lot of people in some comment sections saying that Toyota may end up calling this a Celica. There's been consistent rumors for a new Celica for at least the last 5 years or so, and nothing has ever been confirmed. And while a new Celica does sound like a cool idea, I really don't see that happening. Unless Toyota were to do some sort of like rebirth or something like that, because it's definitely going to be a 5-door hatchback. And the Celica was always a 2-door liftback, so I really don't see that happening. Although, some people consider the Celica a hot hatch as they consider the Integra Type R a hot hatch, because it technically is a hatchback, but I'd pretty much roll that one out completely. Maybe we'll get another Celica in some other form someday. Now, what I'm personally banking on is an expansion in the Corolla lineup. Basically like a Corolla Evo, for lack of a better term, where it'll bear the Corolla badge name, but it'll have a lot of unique parts to it, and different styling from the normal Corolla, sort of like the Lancer Evolution compared to the base Lancer. The same car, but not the same car. So probably a slightly different front fascia, wider like fenders, like wider body panels, totally different suspension geometry, and maybe even 4 seats, because there's probably going to be a big drivetrain hub because of the 4-wheel drive system. Basically what I'm getting at is that it'll be a totally different platform, or at least a significantly different platform from the Corolla XSE or something. Now you'd think maybe it wouldn't make sense for a company to market one single name on 2 different platforms, but it's pretty normal actually. Subaru did it twice with the WRX, even though that they have dropped the Impreza name for the most recent run. People still associate it with an Impreza. Honda did it with the Civic EP3, BMW did it with their 2 Series NPV thing, we don't really need to talk about that. And as you may know, Toyota has done it with the A60 Celica Super, the AE86, and the AE91. So Toyota themselves is definitely no stranger to this. So personally, I think this would be the coolest way to do it. It'd be awesome to have a vicious all-wheel drive version of the Corolla, like the Corolla WRC, if you guys remember that thing. I'd love a modern version of that. And Toyota keeps saying how they don't want to make boring cars anymore. This would be the perfect chance to inject some excitement back in the Corolla name. Because honestly, for the first portion of the Corolla's life, it was not only just a great car for great gas mileage, you could have a great time in the thing as well. Models like the SR5, FX16, A86, A85, all the other GTS models. It sounds really hard to believe today, but there was a point in time where a Corolla was a viable option for a fun little sports car. Although there was the XRS, which is sort of a diamond in the rough of 30 years of being an appliance car, and they're trying with the new hatchback, but they're not really quite there. That's like a room temperature hatch at best. It's honestly just an economy car with a little bit above average handling and just looks good. But we already know we're supposed to get some sort of GR version of the Corolla soon. So Toyota's definitely trying to push it in the direction of performance. I mean, if you remember their marketing campaign from the hatchback when they launched that, they really were selling the manual transmission. Like every single ad showed them like with the 6-speed. Now honestly, I think this theory makes the most sense because it would fill in a top-end gap in Toyota's lineup. Look at it this way. The Corolla hatchback base competes with like the Civic hatchback, base minis, I guess. The base Golf, which I just remembered was discontinued. Mazda 3 hatchback, and the Elantra GT. Oh, wait, no, I just remembered. That was discontinued. These cars are dropping like flies. So I guess it competes with the base Velociter. And in the next 2 years or so, we're supposed to be getting a GR Corolla, supposedly with the Yaris GR drivetrain, which will have 257 horsepower like the Yaris GR. So that'll be competing with the new GTI, which is also supposed to have around 250 horsepower, and is still going to be sold here because Volkswagen knows that people still want to buy it. The Mini JCW, Velociter N, and Civic Si, which should be putting out about 250 horsepower. And I say should because at that point it should. I know that power isn't everything. I honestly never shut up about how light cars are the best. But you gotta keep up with the competition, Honda. You gotta bump it up a little bit from 205 horsepower. So that leaves a gap from Toyota between the Civic Type R and the Golf R. And if Toyota wants to fit in with the cool kids like they've been saying for the past couple of years, this would be the perfect opportunity to get the Corolla up in there. And you may think that the Corolla name may not be the best name to parade a performance car around in, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is supposed to be an enthusiast car, and I think enthusiasts would honestly probably appreciate a badass Corolla. Even the current Corolla hatch, I mean, enthusiasts are buying them. I see them all the time at shows or just driving around with like aftermarket exhaust or aftermarket wheels. I definitely didn't see that with the last generation Corolla. I mean, Christ, those things are all over H2OI. So personally, I think a roided up version of the Corolla is the theory that I'm going to go with. It's the one that I would like to see come to true the most, honestly. Although, mind you, these are all just rumors. I could be totally wrong about everything. Like, I could post this video and there could be an article come out the next day saying that this is not happening at all. But it's a nice idea to ponder. So what do you think? Think it's going to be a new Corolla? Something new? Something resurrected? Are you pissed that Toyota is building another car with another company again? I mean, I really don't care. I'm just glad to see Toyota take a step outside the nursing home for once. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, give it a good thumb. And if you're not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button and hit that godforsaken bell. And I also have an Instagram where I post all my photos from car shows and shoots, and it's pretty cool. I think you need to go give that a follow. Alright, enough plugging. I will see you guys soon. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.